Welcome to the course. This chart shows the top programming languages used by developers today, with Python holding a clear lead at nearly 26%. Many courses teach Python by making you memorize abstract theory. Today, we are taking a different approach. We are going straight into writing real functional code. By the end of this lesson, you will build this, a smart student portal. We'll build it entirely in your web browser, which means you don't need to install anything on your computer to get started. Building this single application forces you to use variables, math operators, conditionals, and loops. In the next 6 minutes, you will put all the core foundations of Python into practice. Open up a browser-based IDE like freeacademy.ai. The first thing we need to do is display a message on the screen. Type print, open a pair of parentheses, and inside quotes, type hello world. Hit run, and you've written your first line of Python. To make our portal useful, we need to store information. We do this using variables. Think of a variable as a labeled box. If we type name equals Python, we are creating a box labeled name and placing the text Python inside it. Python figures out what kind of data is in that box automatically. It sees the quotes and knows name holds text. But you have to be precise with your labels. Variables are strictly case-sensitive, so a lowercase n in name is a completely different container than an uppercase n. Now, replace the hello world text in your print statement with our name variable, this time without the quotes. When you run it, the program looks inside the box and prints the contents. By separating the data from the instruction, we ensure our code will work no matter whose name is stored in that variable. Let's let the user type in their own data. We'll use the input function to ask for their name, and then ask for 2 test scores, storing each in a separate variable. If we try to add those 2 test scores together using a plus sign, the output isn't 90. Instead, we get 5040. The program just glues the numbers together. This happens because the input function reads everything typed at the keyboard as plain text, what programmers call a string. As far as Python is concerned, those numbers are just characters, no different than letters. To fix this, we have to tell Python to treat those characters as mathematical integers. We do this by wrapping our input variables inside the int function. Knowing how to check and convert data types is what allows your code to actually compute numbers rather than just pasting text together. With our data converted, create a new variable called total and set it equal to our first score plus our second score. The plus sign is just one option. You can use the minus sign for subtraction, the asterisk for multiplication, and the / for division. Now add a print statement to display the total variable. Run the program, enter the scores, and you'll see the exact calculation happen live in your terminal. By combining these stored variables with arithmetic operators, you turn static inputs into a highly dynamic math engine. Now we'll have the program assign a letter grade based on that total. Type if total greater than or equal to 90. Hit enter and type print grade A. Notice how that print statement is pushed in from the left edge. Python doesn't use brackets to group code. Instead, it relies on strict indentation. Anything indented exactly 4 spaces under the if statement belongs to that specific block. Next, we'll check for the B grade. Drop back to the main edge and type elif total greater than or equal to 75, followed by another indented print statement. Python will only check this condition if the first one was false. Finally, use an else statement to catch any remaining scores that didn't meet the higher criteria, indenting its print statement exactly the same way. This sequence of logic gives your program the ability to react. It can now make autonomous decisions based on whatever numbers the user types in. Right now, our portal grades 1 student and stops. To grade a whole classroom, we'd have to click run over and over again, which defeats the purpose of programming. Let's fix that. At the very top of your script, create a variable named student count and set it to 1. Below that, type while student count less than or equal to 3. Now highlight everything else we've written and hit the tab key. This indents all our previous work into the while loop. Finally, at the very bottom, add student count ++1 so the loop knows when to stop. This is how we automate tasks. By wrapping instructions in a loop, a script that ran once becomes a continuous processing machine. Run the code one last time. Enter the first student's scores, and the program instantly asks for the next. The terminal loops 3 times, calculates the math, applies the logic tree, and exits cleanly. You just build a fully functional application. Use stored data, converted types, calculated results, mapped out logic, and automated the whole process without writing a single line of wasted code. These core tools are what you'll use to build everything else in Python. From here, you can explore the Pandas library to analyze massive spreadsheets, or learn Django to connect your scripts to the web. The foundations you've practiced today are the baseline for a career in software, data, or AI. Keep practicing, and if this lesson helped you build your first app, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.